The most respected people in any U.S. workplace are almost never the most well-liked. Read that again. The people who get promoted, who control budgets, who actually move the organization. They are not the ones everyone gets along with. They are the ones people listen to, defer to, take seriously. There is a difference between being liked and being respected. And until you understand it, your friendliness is quietly making you weaker. Subscribe right now, because this video is going to make a lot of people uncomfortable. But the discomfort is the point. Let me tell you about someone you have probably worked with. There is a woman somewhere in a U.S. corporate office right now who is genuinely beloved by her entire team. She remembers everyone's birthdays. She brings cake. She covers for colleagues when they fall behind. She says yes to every request. She never pushes back. She never makes anyone uncomfortable. When you ask anyone in that office about her, the response is identical. She is so nice. For 8 years, she has been one of the nicest people in her department. For 8 years, she has not been promoted. Now compare her to someone 3 offices down. This second person is not unfriendly. She is polite, professional, cordial. But she does not bring cake. She does not remember birthdays. She does not cover for colleagues who fell behind because they did not manage their time. She is also direct. When something is wrong, she says so. When a deadline is unrealistic, she pushes back. When a decision is bad, she does not pretend to agree. People do not call her nice. People call her sharp. In the same 8 years, she has been promoted 3 times. She now leads a department of 40 people. The difference between these 2 women is not skill. The difference is not work ethic. The difference is that one of them traded respect for likability, and the other did not. Here is the uncomfortable mechanic at the core of this. In U.S. workplaces, being liked and being respected operate on opposite sides of a single trade-off. To be liked, you must avoid friction. You must agree more than you disagree. You must say yes more than you say no. You must make people feel comfortable in your presence. To be respected, you must create friction strategically. You must be willing to disagree. You must say no when no is the right answer. You must make people slightly uncomfortable when their thinking is weak or their proposal is wrong. You cannot do both at the same time. The person who is constantly accommodating is communicating something to the people around them, even when they do not realize it. They are communicating, "My approval is cheap. My agreement is meaningless. My presence does not change anything in this room." The person who occasionally pushes back is communicating the opposite. When they agree, it means something. When they say yes, it carries weight. When they speak, the room listens because the room knows their words are not free. Drop the word respect in the comments right now if you have spent years being liked at work and getting nowhere. I want to know how many people have made this trade without realizing it. Now, here is where it gets harder. Most American professionals have been trained their entire lives to seek approval. In school, you got rewarded for being agreeable, for not causing trouble, for making teachers and peers comfortable. When you entered the U.S. corporate workforce, you brought those same instincts. Agreeableness was rewarded in your early years. Your manager loved that you said yes to everything. Your colleagues loved that you covered for them. But here is the trap. The behaviors that get you hired are not the behaviors that get you promoted. The behaviors that make you a good entry-level employee are exactly the behaviors that keep you an entry-level employee. Niceness is a junior trait in American corporate culture. It signals that you are safe, manageable, and pliable. Senior people do not promote pliable. Senior people promote people who they want sitting next to them when difficult decisions need to be made. And a pliable person is useless in a difficult decision.
The nice woman in our story has spent 8 years being maximally useful to everyone around her and maximally invisible to anyone who could change her trajectory.
The sharp woman 3 offices down has spent the same 8 years being slightly less useful to her peers and infinitely more valuable to the people above her. Senior leaders trust her opinion because she does not give it away cheaply. Senior leaders bring her into rooms because they know she will tell them the truth. Senior leaders promote her because they know she can handle real responsibility. And handling real responsibility requires the willingness to make people uncomfortable. Marcus Aurelius wrote that we should not be concerned with what people think of us. He wrote that the approval of fools is worth nothing. He was not advocating for cruelty. He was advocating for the recognition that excessive concern with being liked makes a person weak, and weakness is incompatible with leadership. Now here is what to do with this starting this week. Stop chasing likability. Start building selective friction. This does not mean you become rude. This does not mean you become combative. This means you become deliberate about when you agree, when you disagree, and when you stay silent. The specific weekly action is this. In every meeting you attend this week, identify one moment where you would normally automatically agree with something, even though you do not fully agree with it. When that moment arrives, do not agree. Do not disagree aggressively. Do not blow it up. Simply say one sentence, "I see it differently." That is it. Then explain your perspective calmly and clearly. Make it a small intervention, not a battle. Just a moment where you refuse to be reflexively agreeable. Then watch what happens. The first time you do this, the room will pause. People are not used to it from you. There may be a small adjustment in the air. That is what respect being earned looks like. Do this in one meeting per week for 1 month, and your standing in the organization will start to shift. Senior leaders will start to notice that you have a point of view. Your peers will start to take you more seriously. And the version of you that everyone calls nice will start to be replaced by the version of you that everyone calls thoughtful. Thoughtful is a senior trait. Nice is a junior trait. Choose carefully. The nice woman in our story is still in the same role today. She is still beloved by her team. She is still being passed over. The sharp woman runs a department of 40 people and is being considered for a vice president position. Neither of them is the better person, but only one of them is being treated with respect. And in U.S. workplaces, respect is the currency that buys advancement. Like this video if it made you uncomfortable in the right way. Share it with someone who is the nicest person in their office and cannot understand why they are not getting ahead. They need to hear this. And subscribe, because in the next video we go into one of the most important rules of power in any American workplace. The first rule of power, the one that once you understand it, changes how you read every workplace conversation you ever have again. Do not miss it.